I'm revisiting this video from the future to provide an introduction. So to provide some evidence of the object, which is in its early stages, as you see it here. What is this object? It's a piece of geometry. I'm very interested in geometry. You see an interest in breaking down the mass because it is a bit more massive than a lot of its context, some of which you see here. So I'm interested in breaking down the mass. This form itself is interested in breaking its mass down. You see an object to one side here, broken down into two volumes. You see an object to the other side here, broken down into two volumes, and you see a central object, which further breaks that down into two distinct parts and acts as the entry. And that central object, with its more distinctive geometry, these two angles, really breaks down the volume of the house. So it's a piece of geometry. It's an object of human habitation. It is an artifact interested in being ecologically sound, in being environmentally conscious, and working with the sun to block out the harsh summer sun from the south and the west and bring in the northern ambient light. It is all of these things. What it is not, which has become clear, is it's not architecture. Hopefully this video will still be up when I can look back on it and remember the times when I would dance around this word. So the rest of the video is coming up. Enjoy.
Some of you may have seen me rapping on Instagram, but today we're doing nothing like that. Yo, I squeeze out designs at Louise House, has lines that appease now and wines for the breeze now. So, without further ado, the Louise House is a project I started in December of 2016, finished up mid-2017. It should be in the very early stages of construction. I haven't gone out to the site very much. The program was a first floor that contains your typical residential program, living, dining, kitchen, and one bedroom on that level, two restrooms, and a second floor that would contain the maximum amount of bedrooms and bathrooms that we can comfortably fit on that floor. You look at the block the house is on, you take each setback for each house, you add them up, and you divide by the number of houses there are, and you get a number. And that number, which is the average of the setbacks, becomes your setback. So the zone that this falls under is an RA zone. It's a residential agriculture zone. You can actually grow some of your own crops and sell them, and they're very big lots, so they have pretty big setbacks. 11-foot setback on each side, 25-foot setback in the back, but I mean that doesn't affect us as much because we've already maxed out our square footage at the front of the property, and it's really steep out there anyway, and none of the neighbors on the block have built back there. They've all used their square footage at the front, which is not to say that what everyone else is doing is the right thing to do, but in this case it totally makes sense. We have a double height space, which I think is going to be pretty beautiful. It's right when you enter. So you enter from the north, so it's going to be nicely shaded. There's an overhang above you, and the sun goes from east to west, but it goes towards the south in this hemisphere. So this overhang, I think, is going to nicely shade whoever is entering the building. And you're going to enter it, and then right in front of you is going to be this 10-foot by 10-foot, 100 square foot double height space. And then in front of you there, if you keep walking forward, is going to be the living, dining, kitchen. Because right when you enter, it's a bit of a hallway, and there's the garage to your right and bedroom to your left. And you have to just walk past to the living, dining, kitchen area. And over there, there's also this large opening into the backyard where you also see the great view from. This is another case like the HK house where the view was to the south. So, all these shading precautions had to take place. A lot of geometry on the south elevation because of that. Overhangs, angles, things that help that. So beyond the landscape architect's design of the necessary square footage that we needed for landscape, I added these planter boxes attached to the building, which would take the rainwater directly down and guide them there rather than have them run off. And specified the rest of the concrete as either permeable or non-colored concrete apparently works almost as well. It's still having the 2% slopes, so it's not going to collect on any point if it does happen to run off to the sewer system. So when I took my first pass at the project, the homeowners, the couple, had a lot of input, and they loved the way it looked, but wanted to add more glass to it. And the front entry, I designed this overhang that had an angle coming out at you. They wanted to actually add to the angle and have an indent and make it into 2 angles. So we messed with that. We tweaked it until we found the right balance. And it was really a great process where I was excited about something, kind of went into my vacuum and designed it without really showing them what I was doing. I went through a few iterations and finally got to one that I kind of liked, and I showed them that one. And they thought about it too and had their own input. It ended up being better as a result. It's kind of interesting. Architecture has become this strong expressing of one person's ambition when it probably should be more of a dialogue, a sharing of multiple people's ambitions. So it could be something for, multiple people, for the city. Obviously, it always gets designed by the few and used by the many. But to be designed by one person and used by the many just seems a bit silly. So I've also bought into this idea of authorship, and I strive to have my authorship built. It's kind of a dilemma, but it's an interesting one. Hopefully it'll be resolved at some point.
Consider subscribing if you haven't already. My name is Ara. I'll see you very soon.
Yo. Rapping on musically while y'all foolishly map all platforms. I'll be here so you can see a new entry to this beat. Freestyle challenge, increase that passion. If you start having that freestyle battling, dreams y'all babbling, please stop rambling. Yeah, that's my entry. Architecture graduate, MC, test me. The A, the R, the A, the space, the H, the O, the V, the S, the E, the P, the Y, the A, the N. That's why I take the pen and spill mad skills. Y'all lie, y'all late to rest. That's it, man, peace.